What is up, everybody? Hope you're doing well. Welcome back to some Microsoft Flight Sim 2020, where today we're checking out an amazing add-on, something everybody's been looking for, the GSX Pro for Microsoft Flight Sim. Now, if you are from the P3D FSX era, you know what GSX is. It is the ground service expansion, and it is from the FS Dream Team. It currently retails for $29. And let me tell you, I bought it the instant I saw it was released. Now, I did buy this, was not provided to me for free. So just to kind of be honest about that, that way you know, okay, I am invested in this. I did purchase it. Now, what GSX does um, is it pretty much replaces a lot of stuff you have in the basic game. Now, you do have access to a lot of assets, in terms of stairs, uh, fuel, cargo, and that's something that's really cool they added in. But GSX really takes it to the next level. Now, if you are a hardcore flight simmer, GSX is something you're probably going to want to pick up. And it is great because it is completely customizable and it's got a lot of great features. Now, we're over here at Heathrow, and I want to point out the first thing. It replaces the jetways. You get custom jetways, which I think you might be able to even customize the sign that is shown here. But you can customize a lot of this. I like the custom jetways. I think it looks a lot better than the default ones. That's just something to kind of remember. If we look over here, it has custom. It did not replace, it did replace this actually, I just noticed, but it did not take it out. Okay, I see what it did. It's like running it as a jetway to here and here. So that's something to kind of keep in mind. That's something that I'm going to submit on the forums. It's just like hey, some of this stuff probably needs to get fixed with some of these jetways. But what's great is you can fix it yourself. They actually give you all the tools that if you want to fix it, you can. I imagine we're going to see people start releasing content where they fix it for you. So I think that's really cool. Honestly, I like how this looks because from what I remember last time I flew out of Heathrow, it's actually kind of what it doesn't look like this on the outside, but it looks a little bit more than just these kind of black boxes. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look. Let's go back to this view. And the first thing I'm going to look at is actually, let's go into the menu. So you go to your navigation bar here, click GSX main menu. Now, I don't know how to pronounce that. Just clicking that, all it does is it just kind of resets the GSX program. So if you start messing up a lot of things and you're like, I don't want to restart my flight, just do it like that. It should not ruin anything. I've done it once or twice when testing, did not cause any issues. Let's go ahead and take a look at settings. Now, something I want to point out is currently on the 18th of August around 9:30 Central Time, this is still a known issue and they are aware and they're fixing it. But if you are having problems where you're editing stuff and stuff's not saving, and it's throwing up an error like sure you don't want to delete all waypoints, what you need to do is open up the options and come look at this. If you see the copyright saying 2012 through 2018, then like me, you have a kind of broken in air quotes version. And while it does not affect you being able to use the product, you can still do everything perfectly fine. You're just gonna have you're not able to edit some of the stand configurations, and that's okay. FS Stream Team's aware of it. They're pushing an update soon. I'd expect it probably to come on the 19th or 20th of August. However, like I said, as far as I can tell, everything works fully. So just kind of keep in mind. Now, over here we can see some basic parameters. Really, the only one I think people need to really look at is ignore wingspan when parking. That's a personal one. A lot of the gates in FS 2020 don't necessarily fit the aircraft that would normally fit in there sometimes. It just kind of, it's something you deal with. Like I was testing out San Francisco, and my 787-10 did not fit in a gate that I've definitely seen a 787 in before. So it's kind of something to, if you want to just always be able to use the gates you want, if you're like, okay, I know all these gates are going to fit my aircraft, and you don't want to, do something about sim land, not be able to use GSX at the gate, Just consider ignore wingspan when parking. Not a big deal. Virtual airlines override. Um, if you just want to put in a custom or like a specific airline to be at all the gates, you know, here's what you can do. I also don't know if this means you want to upload your own airlines. That's something I've tried to find out, but I couldn't. That's a cool possible feature. So let's go ahead and pull it up. Heads up, if you close the menu, you have to double click to get back open. Let's go ahead and customize airport positions. So let's take a look at 216. Now, you have, first off, gate small. Now, you have all these different types of gates, and like small, medium, and heavy will depend on the aircraft size. So something to kind of keep in mind, that goes back to the wingspan issue. Have the parking systems, which is really cool. You have every gate by default has the marshaller, which is a physical guy that marshals you in. Now you can swap it to the safe dock, a bunch of different options. Just know if you do this, you might have something floating in the air. Just kind of a heads up. Now you also have the airlines that are in this. I've currently added UAL, so United, Singapore, Air Canada, and All Nippon, because those are gates used by them. And that way it gives me the options. However, I can't do anything with that right now because it's broken. Let me show you the error. If we just swap that to small and hit apply, do you want to remove all walker waypoints? And then it doesn't do anything. Jetways, that's, customize if it has jetway, no jetway. Max allowed wingspan, that goes back to the wingspan issue. This button's beautiful. Can't do it, but what it does is the game's like, okay, your wingspan is like 52 meters, and it then puts it there. That way, if you want to, for instance, like in San Francisco, I know the gate can handle a 747-8, but it's not set to that. I pull it up, I click this, and it puts the wingspan in that I need. That way I'm not putting in a wingspan of like 9999, and that way you can keep it a little more realistic. Handling people, these are all the different handlers. You have all the airlines. You have Swissport, a bunch of companies. Same with catering, Aerofood, Air Chefs, Bangkok, Chelsea Food Services, Gate Gourmet. Let's see any other noticeable. Sky Cafe. So that's some really cool features, and should be able to edit multiple at once without ruining all the other settings. You have your pushback options, which are both very nice. You can actually edit them if you want. Let's go ahead and on and customize airplane. Now this is a little bit crazier, but you can customize where all the stuff's at. Cargo airplane, use GSX traffic codes. Didn't start before pushback. A lot of options. You can also edit where the location of the pack store is. I know back in P3D, the 767 from Captain Sim, I can't remember what was going on, but, the 67 has one door here, and it was putting the jetway here, and it kind of killed immersion having jetway go up to just a random part of the plane. And so you're able to go in, and it edits that aircraft in GSX. So anytime you use, say, the Captain Sim 777-200, if I wanted it to go instead of to the front door to the middle door, then it would remember that. So anytime you use the jetway, it'll always go to the middle door. Now, speaking of that, what I want to see, and what I hope we will see that we saw in P3D, is the ability to use two jetways. Actually, in P3D, you had a couple gates that were 3 jetways. However, we never had a good A380 model where you could utilize the third jetway. But that's something cool. That's something that, for me, I love that. It's a small detail, but it makes it, I don't know, I feel like it makes the plane feel more alive on the ground, looks a little more realistic. But overall, those are some of the basic features. Now, one thing I'd suggest, go back to settings, is go to audio and drop that down. It is loud. And, you can always adjust it as we go on. You also have your timings here, minimum boarding time, maximum boarding time. Edit this how you want. personal preference, no biggie either way. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's just do a basic boarding.
Boarding requested.
So see what I was talking about with the sound? It's just a little loud. I'm gonna have to go ahead and drop that sound down. That is loud. Now, the one complaint I have, honestly, let me do this. One other complaint I have is, I don't like how the door opens ahead of time. Not really a big deal either way. I'm doing this again. Okay. I would like to see a ability to toggle voice and toggle, like just generic audio for GSX, and maybe that's something there. We see that the game recognizes that there's 2 exits. It's sending this here. There is ways to edit this, so it does not ever actually have.
Pilot's boarding starting.
Oh, so let's go ahead and take a look. And what like I was saying, you can take that out. That's just kind of personal preference. I don't like seeing that. Let's see. Now we should be seeing. Here we go. So you'll actually. Oh, see. So this is some of the stuff that's gonna have to get worked out, which is good because a lot of this stuff, there's no way you're gonna figure it out until you actually physically, have people test these. So if you see something like this, make sure to make a bug report or something. Or for me, that's really not a big deal. It's not gonna kill my immersion. But I like how you see the pilots and everything actually actively board. Now that's something you have to realize. This takes up time, so kind of how important is the realism to you? Now we see another little glitch, which is fine. This is all stuff that's going to get worked out. Now, while that's going on, let's pull up the menu and let's see. We want to request catering services. And then it should populate our catering trucks. I don't think they actually populate the gate. I think they populate somewhere near the gate, and they come to the aircraft. And let's see, what other options can we populate? Let's request refueling.
Crew boarding starting.
Let's see. As we can see over here, we have the cargo loaders, which is very nice. And they do have options for cargo aircraft, so this is not just a passenger aircraft mod. This also isn't just a large aircraft mod. If you are doing smaller airports, while this might not be as important to you, there are some benefits for the smaller aircraft. You do have a lot of options refueling. While I haven't seen it one way or the other. That's just a visual glitch. In P3D, we did have de-icing. We'll, if that's a thing, we'll try that later. Didn't really affect much in Flight Sim 2020. It might affect things. Just kind of have to see. But there's a lot of potential with this. So now we have the LD3s. I think that's what that is. Yes, that's the LD3. Now, it's going to load one way or the other, whether or not you have doors open or not, but you have the doors open. What I want to do now is we're going to restart. As you see, it completely just resets everything except the jetway. So let's go ahead and going to prepare for pushback and departure. Just kind of reset everything. And you can actually go in and change the placement of all the vehicles where they spawn. If you want to have it spawn over there, you can. So I am noticing some visual glitches. Now, I don't think that's on my end. I think that is something actually going on with the sim, so that's something to kind of keep in mind of stuff that we'll probably see worked out. So we have... Oh, here we go. This is so cool to see where this started from earlier on with P3D. Having people walking around and actually looking like they're walking is insanely cool. This is a very nice feature. Let's see, what's she going? Just gonna keep walking. She's just like, okay. Now, see, that's something that's probably messed up with the Captain Sim aircraft. She was probably supposed to walk to here and check with the front or the main gear, not the main gear, sorry, the nose gear. Or was that correct? Ooh, sorry about that, guys. I do not know. Oh, I guess it was right. So the Tug is seeing that defaulted to United as my default airline. But I like this. And like I said, you can probably create your own airlines. You can use the airline you want, Swissport, anything. There's a lot of variations. I think there's even different types of tugs depending on the aircraft size. This is amazing. You know, this really, I feel like, goes the extra mile, and it's great that now you don't have to interact with ATC from the base flight sim game, which honestly I would remove if I could. Now here's the cool one. You have the nose right, tail left. So the easiest way I remember is just turn your camera like this, and nose right, tail left will be taking us this direction. Nose left, tail right will take us this direction. Straight will take us back here, which is nice if you're in kind of a weird parking. So we're going to choose nose right, tail left. Okay, so we're going to replace parking brake. Parking brake there. Okay. Go in, I'm going to have to manually do it. So see, there's another little glitch we're going to have to work out. And some of this might be because it is a Captain Sim aircraft. But I wanted to try it with modded because a lot of people are flying modded aircraft. These are some common things. So after this, we'll do a pushback with probably a 787-10. Kind of see how that's like. Which actually, we'll go ahead and do it now because there's really nothing else to look at with this one. So I'll catch you back in a second. And here we are, 787-10. And let's go ahead and pull up this, and we prepare for back and departure. And this time we're in tug because it's a different type of air, which I like. I like the variations in tugs. I think it makes it feel dynamic. It's cookie cutter. So here comes. Oh, it's a different. I think that's a different model too, which is very nice. And speaking of models, these are very clean. I mean, I think. I'd interrupt her. I think these look very nice in terms of just tugs. I mean, they really did not have to go that crazy. Let's see, is this now that is a base flight sim one. It's kind of weird. I think it's because I tried to go under. I think they definitely went a little. Oh, yep. See, so something was probably up with the Captain Sim, which I'm glad I kind of showed that because that is, as much as people deny, that is a pretty popular mod for people. Just because the current diversity of mods is not that high. So do people like it? Now let's see this guy. Wheels are a little funky, but honestly, that's not the ahead and just take off the parking brake when they tell us, and we'll push. Oh, dang, that guy caught some air. Dang, he caught some air again. That is cool. Look at that. You physically saw us get. It's a cool little feature. You can adjust. I think you can actually adjust the pushback speed if you. However, I think this is the pushback speed of aircraft. But overall, this is very clean. I'm not noticing a performance dip, which I wasn't expecting. However, you never know. There's always something that could happen. And I mean, it's so smooth. I mean, it truly is incredibly smooth right now. And just to give you an idea, I am running on a i7 12700 and a 3090 Ti, just to give you the idea of what these specs are. So I am on the upper echelon of what you would probably be running. But it's a very turn. Let's go ahead and swap to cockpit. Go ahead and just that to make the cockpit feel not so empty. I'm currently not touching anything, so it's either going to stop on its own or we're going to keep going. It should stop on its own at a predetermined position. Okay, so that was a little. So let's look at this. Interpret pushback, or interrupt pushback. We can stop here and complete pushback. Start engines before they drop us. Or pushback. We'll stop and.
Ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
Unlocking the nose gear.
See, it's physically lowered. That is so cool. The fact that we down. You know, it's stuff like that that isn't make or break for me, but it just it really goes a long way. Wow, that even like closes on it, so you could really, I mean, they really went above and beyond. Okay, so that's a little weird. Not a big.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed. Left is clear. Right is clear.
Well, I think that that was pretty nice. So let me just go ahead and I'll catch you back in a second when we have the engine started so we can show you what an arrival looks like. Okay, so for all purposes, we have taxied off the runway 28 left at San Francisco after a long flight from London, and we don't know where we need to go. We know we're going to one of the Gulf gates, so we say, hey, ATC, we need a follow me car. So let's pull up GSX, and perfect, it's all sorted, so we know we're going G and G4. Actually, let's do G9 and request follow me. Now we're going to wait for United Airlines follow me car to pick us up. Now, we see that some of the jetways don't necessarily match the gates, and that's something that you can fix in some of these stuff. Arrival 41 seconds, so we're just going to wait here. We also have the San Francisco International Airport, which is beautiful. That way, in case you didn't know where you were, now. But in all seriousness, I love that. I love that the jetways, the airport feels a lot more live and full of actual vehicles. I'm pretty sure that is a GSX truck there. As well as that. The trucks driving around definitely make it a lot more live. They're a lot more probably a lot prettier to look at than guys. So, oh, there we go. There's a little guy. So, parking brake off, and let's see, follow me. Okay, perfect. Now we want to keep an eye because that actually will change to tell us where we need to go. Now you can adjust the speed they drive. That first menu I showed you in the GSX options. And something to remember is if you're requesting a follow me, it will not there is no way to program it to take certain taxiway. So if you're using it, see like that's a I don't know why that, but it will not follow like it will take the most direct route now. So we're just gonna kind of watch it. We're gonna slow down for a second. Okay, so we see that left light flashing means it's a left turn. And here we go. We're at the gate. And right past that sign. Okay. A floating tug. Now, this is, I'm glad it's showing all this. It shows you some of the stuff that, don't be surprised if it happens. Let's slow down. There we go. So the left number is how far to the center line. Right number is how far, or left number is how far we are from the stopping point. Right number is center line. So, going pretty good. And you can also follow her hand directions. Down her. Down. There. Parking brake on. Cut the engines. And, let's see. Very good parking. Get the... Now here's the thing I want to know. That makes me sad. So in the old GSX, if you had I think it was a very good parking, but they would do a little dance with some music. I can't believe they didn't add that in. That makes me kind of sad. So one thing I've also noticed is there currently seems to be an error with GSX where you can't actually do anything once you the gate. So there's definitely some bugs. And I'm not too worried that they won't get fixed. But I've tried this at 2 different times at 2 different places. And it seems to be a bug with GSX. Well, guys, I'm sorry this is kind of a weird video. There are a lot of bugs I'm seeing right now. I'm confident next day or 2 we'll see them getting fixed. I honestly think it probably has to do with the update being messed up. So I wouldn't worry about too much. From what I can see, though, it is very solid. It's a great product. It retails for $29 even in for US dollars. Let me clarify that on the FS Dream Team website. I would give it out of 5 stars. For potential, a solid 4.5. For what it released as, a solid 3. And for what I'm expecting it to be, from everything I've seen and from the videos I've seen with I actually have the correct version, a solid 4.5. The 3 is because it released right now. There are some bugs. A floating tug is not something that's gonna cause it. I'm not going to make comments about that because I can't fault them because I, if I tried every gate here, I bet probably half of them would be fine. It's just, you know, every gate at every airport in the world, you're gonna have to fix stuff, and they give you the tools to easily fix it. That's the thing I like. I'm hoping we will actually see people release files on them fixed. Either way, I'm happy. Uh, the pros, first off, the jetways. I like the jetways. That's included free. The textures are very nice. It's solid. It works. If you've used GSX before, you know your way around. Um, Overall, the functionality is great. Not having to use the base ATC systems from like base flight sim 20. Huge plus. I absolutely hate the ATC system. I would uninstall it if I could. Um, some cons. Honestly, first off, buggy in the current state. Do I expect it to get fixed? Yes. I will be doing a updated kind of view once we get this, but this is my initial reviews. Another con is really, honestly, there's some bugginess with just some stuff here and there. Really, it's the bugs is the only con I have. Um, something to remember going into this is, if, as you saw with the 777, you're gonna have to work, especially with that spotted aircraft. Excuse me, sorry about that. This is a base aircraft. That's why I wanted to do some testing with it. It works great. So if you're flying the 787, the A320, honestly, the A320 X, a fly-by-wire, that should have no issue either. I'm pretty happy with this. I think they've done a couple things. The only other kind of thing that I personally dislike is I don't really like the new. Now, I know that's not on them, and of course I can't get it up. That's partially on what they're allowed to do inside of Flight Sim 2020. I think it could be a little bit more friendly. I don't like how it closes after, you click a dialog box and then it closes. You have to reopen it. Like to see that change in the future. Overall, would I recommend this? Yes. I think especially if you're a communication person, it is worth it. And you do this for free. Yes. Do not have to buy GSX to do most of the stuff it offers. It just does it better, nicer, and easily control a lot of the things. And I think really, if you are a hardcore enthusiast. But guys, that is my opinion. Don't forget to leave comments down below. Tell me what you think. Tell me if you're excited, disappointed. Are you gonna buy it? Have you bought it? Love to hear your thoughts. Until next time, y'all have a good one. Bye.